Welcome, everybody. You're listening to the Mega Talks podcast, and this is another segment of mini talks that I'll be releasing every Monday for your listening pleasure, and also giving you some topics to kind of simmer on, to think about. This week I'll be talking about truth, and we're going to define truth starting out. I'll give you the definition that I've researched a little bit. States that truth is the quality or state of being true. Also another definition, that which is true or in accordance with fact or reality. Have a third definition of fact or belief that is accepted as being true. Now, what you get out of these definitions is very vague. They don't actually define truth, because truth is actually pretty difficult to define. So a couple of things I want to do in the episode, just talk about truth and come up with a different variation of these definitions, probably an extreme variation. So listen along. As we talk about truth is subjective. Now, subjective means basically a different point of view from everybody, which that is what the truth is. Nowadays, it's pretty common that if you have the majority of people that believe in something as one way, we tend to say the majority of the people can pick the truth. But that still can be persuaded a little bit. People can be persuaded in different ways, convinced, where the majority of people have a similar way of thinking and it not be the truth, which I'll get into in probably in another mini talk about, just how people can be fooled and marketed into different, to thinking in different beliefs. Like I said, truth is subjective. You can refer to truth as like science. And as we define science, science is a particular area of science, a systematically organized body of knowledge on a particular subject. A knowledge of any kind. Here's another definition of science: the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. Now, what do we know about experiments in science? So there's also good and there's bad science. So if you have a bad system, it can still be science. You can have a good system and it's still science. It still have some subjectivity, just as truth does. So what is truth? All right, let's take some examples. Say we have an event, an activity that was captured on video, and we can have a group watch that video, and visually we can all come to a truth that visually we can describe the events that happen on the video. Now, one thing that video doesn't give us, it doesn't give us the sense. And what I mean by the sense, you don't have the gut sense of actually being in the video. You don't have the reaction of the video. You can't hear the things audible to the people that's in a video. You can't smell the things that people can smell, that you've watched on video. So you have a lot of senses that are taken away. You also have visual senses that are taken away. You don't have the point of view of the people in the video. Your point of view is more like a third party, like a fly on the wall. And sometimes it's a fixed video. It's not even a mobile video. In sporting events, we have the ability to switch angles and capture different things. But let's take a police video. You have a police video, and sometimes you get cam footage actually attached to somebody's body. Sometimes you get a video that's attached to the car, and you can take a group of 12 people and you can have 12 different truths. They all watch the same video, but their truth, their perception their analysis, their science is going to be different. But you'll have people in that group that will swear by their testimony and tell you that that's the truth. Their conclusion is the truth. Now let's take a sporting event. Talked about the different camera angles on a sporting event. You can break down a basketball play. You can break down a football play. And you can take a group of 12 people that watch those videos of those plays, and you get maybe 12 different opinions, just the same as in the police video. You have some people that have knowledge of sports, some people that don't, some people that see more detailed things than others. You have some that will watch just the ball, and that's their point of view. You have others that will watch maybe just watch the offensive or defensive line and what they're doing. So you have people that are going to key in on different elements of the video. Yeah, they can come up with the truth that there's 22 players on the field and that they gained 4 yards. But you'll have different variations of that. And these people with their truths and their opinions, they're authentic in what they see. But that's because it's on, we have a video for them to watch. So where does the truth lie? The truth lies in the past. Events that you observed. And this topic comes from me back in about 1999, 2000 area. I wrote a song called Truth. And it's something that I kind of studied then, the different variations of truth and how people came to determine a truth off of one singular event. And we see that now. We see people, they like to seek the truth in certain aspects of life. And we all observe different things. So you come up with many different opinions. And we have a lot of people with those opinions that say their opinion is truth when it's an observation. We can call it a science, but did they use a bad system to conduct their science experiment, or did they use a good system to conduct their experiment? So, as we evaluate truth, we see other things in society today. We have things like memes, that come up on the internet. Some people look at those and they may see some caption on there and they say, well, that's true right there. It's still subjective. It's still their opinion. Does it make it true in their life? Yes. Does it make it true in somebody else's life? No. So the truth is still subjective. We have, I was mentioning the videos earlier. We have the alteration of video, which today, the alteration of video is phenomenal. The things that you'll see, and you don't have any idea whether it's, if it's been altered or faked, or if it's the authentic version of videos. We've seen it early on in movies, manipulations. We see it more now. Previously had a lot of CGI movies. The graphics continued to get better. You get computer alterated images of, we take Star Wars, for example. There's certain characters in the movie that died, and they were interjected into the movie, even used the audio, facial captures. We seen it in music videos. We know green screen have existed, and there's been advances made past green screen. Even in your phone, you have apps where you can remove somebody's face and put it on celebrity's face, and it looks real. Some of it does, you can tell it's been altered. But I've seen some pretty awesome manipulations, even inside a phone, and even more manipulations in just in like different types of TED Talks and videos off of YouTube talking about the manipulation of graphics. Now, do you have a lot of people, altering videos? Now I think you do. In the past, there's been less, but I definitely know we have it now. So we always have the individual or the group or people that's seeking the truth about just anything, events that's taking place in their life, and you always get an opinion on the truth. Now, I've had discussions with people several years ago when I was at work. We would take different subjects and we would discuss them, and we would discuss the truth of the matter, so to speak. And we would come up with different variations and possibilities and discuss those possibilities. And, then a lot of people were receptive in exploring those possibilities. You meet up on some people that they don't like those types of discussions. They call them rather arguments rather than discussion. They don't want to talk about possibilities because they feel like that you're kind of picking on them, or you're insulting their intelligence of their opinion or their truth. And that's the same as some groups today. If they're challenged on their methodologies, or they're challenged on their truth, you kind of inflict a bad reaction in them. And they really get defensive. They call you more argumentative, when it's not actually, a call out of somebody's intelligence. It's just the exploration of a different possibility. Even some, when you're questioned about your truth, your question on how you came to the conclusion of your truth, or people say, well, tell me that story. Well, how did you come up with that? Teachers in school, how did you come up with this on your paper? Or how did you come up with this answer on your math problem? They want to see the work, much like we call it for you to show the work. That was just, they jumped to a conclusion. They jumped to that truth, and it can be no other way. And some of the things that people present as the truth are not actually the truth. They're more of a theory than they are the truth. Because like I said earlier, the truth is always going to be in the past. And an example of that is when I wake up in the morning, I've got to get X done. I'm going to do X. But you don't do that, so it's not the truth. When you can't perform activity X in the morning or the next day, does that make you a liar? Does it make you a teller of the truth? But if you can describe the events that you done the previous day, or you could describe the events that you performed in one day, you can give a truthful account of those events. Now, somebody was there to witness, their truth may be different than yours. So we know the definition of the truth is going to be an event that occurred in the past. It's not going to be something that we're saying about the future. I think you can only conclude that the truth in the future can be told spiritually in the Bible, which brings me back to my song that I wrote called Truth. There's a phrase in that phrase is, I'll quote it, "And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Now that phrase in the song is sampled and it's repeated throughout the song. It's also repeated in reverse. It's a body of art that I created, discussing the truth. Because some people will wire the truth up one way, and others will reverse the truth and make the exact opposite of what you say. So that was why I kind of put in the song forwards and in reverse. And if you don't know the song I'm talking about, it's called Truth. You can hear it on Spotify. Look at my name in there and search that. And you can hear the song and a little bit of discussion that goes on in the background of the song. But it's something to kind of wrap your brain around. Just think about the truth and how you use the word and how you present it. You know, because when it comes down to it, you may have 12 opinions unless you have a system that the people have to follow to come up with a conclusion. And then you can formulate a version of the truth, which is kind of what the court system is on. You have people who come together who systematically judge an individual or individuals, and they come up with a version of the truth. So it is a scientific way to come up with the truth. Another just little example that comes off the top of my head, to give you some perspective. You have one individual that looks up and says the sky's blue. You have another individual that looks up and says it's not blue because it's going to be black. You have another individual that says that that's not the sky that's blue. It's the color of water because water's in the atmosphere and it's reflecting the sunlight. So therefore it reflects blue. You have others that say there's no sky. It's just an atmosphere. It's different layers. So you have different opinions and people that see things in different ways. And it's like the performing art, or not performing art, but martial art of jiu-jitsu. You know, we have a basis of the way we do things. There's a science in the way we do things. Sometimes you perform those moves correctly. Sometimes you don't. But where the truth lies is in the outcome, and the truth lies in the past. So just some perspective, some things to think about. Hope you enjoyed the mini talk, and catch you guys in the next episode.